Welcome to this deep dive, and today we'll be exploring Castaway. But not in the typical film review way.
Yeah.
We're going to be using a unique source to understand how the movie explores resilience, the human spirit, and our perception of time.
You might be surprised to hear that our source material
Okay.
is actually a script summary and vocabulary guide designed for English language learners.
Interesting.
But what's really interesting is how this unconventional approach actually offers a fresh perspective on the film's deeper layers.
That's what I love about these deep dives. You never know where the insights will come from.
Exactly.
So the source material points out how Chuck is fixated on time even before he's stranded on the island.
Right. Even in his everyday life, Chuck's ruled by the clock. It's almost like the film foreshadows what's to come. In fact, there's that line where he says, time rules over us without mercy.
It's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
A man obsessed with schedules suddenly finds himself in a place where time has a completely different meaning, almost irrelevant. It makes you wonder if that's why he was so obsessed with it in the first place. Maybe he sensed he needed to learn a different way of relating to time.
That's an interesting thought. The film definitely makes you think about how our perception of time shapes our reality.
Yeah.
On the island, Chuck is forced to slow down, to be present in each moment.
And speaking of Chuck's adaptation to the island, the script highlights this in fascinating ways.
Okay.
There's a moment where it defines the word lashings, referring to the ropes on his raft.
It's fascinating how the script, by defining such a specific nautical term, highlights how Chuck is forced to learn an entirely new vocabulary of survival.
Yeah.
He has to adapt not just physically, but mentally and linguistically.
Exactly. He goes from boardrooms and FedEx deadlines to coconut cracking and spearfishing.
Right.
The script even focuses on details like his attempts at making fire
Yeah.
and even his DIY dentistry.
These details show us that survival isn't just about brute force. It's also about resourcefulness and problem solving.
And then there's his relationship with Wilson. The script notes that both Wilson and Spaulding are names of sporting goods companies, which adds a layer of complexity to this unusual bond.
Absolutely. This detail emphasizes just how isolated Chuck truly is. He seeks connection in a volleyball that's just a manufactured object, a symbol of the world he's lost. It makes you think about our innate need for connection and how we find it in unexpected places.
It makes you wonder if he would have clung to Wilson in the same way if he hadn't been so focused on work and schedules before the crash. Maybe his isolation on the island was already present in his life before the crash.
That's a powerful observation. The film seems to suggest that our internal state often reflects in our external circumstances.
Right.
The script also doesn't shy away from the darker side of Chuck's experience.
This is where the source material gets really intriguing. For example, the script mentions that Chuck considered suicide.
Oh, wow.
But the tree branch snapped.
This scene isn't just about physical danger. The snapping branch symbolizes the fragility of hope.
Yeah.
And Chuck's decision to keep fighting underscores the tenacity of the human spirit. Even in his darkest moment, he finds a reason to hold on.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even when things seem hopeless, there's always that flicker of resilience inside us. But even when rescue comes, it's not a simple happy ending for Chuck.
Right.
After years of isolation, he's brought back to a world he barely recognizes.
Exactly. The script highlights this through details like Chuck's awkward reunion with Kelly,
Right.
societal changes he struggles to grasp, and the fact that Kelly kept his old, faded picture. It's a bittersweet homecoming.
Yeah.
He's physically safe, but he's lost in so many other ways.
It must be incredibly disorienting to return after so long.
Yeah.
The world has moved on, and he's left trying to piece together a life that no longer exists. There's even a moment where the script mentions Chuck's reaction to the Houston Oilers becoming the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, yeah.
It's a small detail, but it really emphasizes how much has changed in his absence.
And that feeling of displacement isn't just about external changes. It's about the internal transformation Chuck has undergone. He's not the same man who left. His time on the island has stripped away his old certainties and forced him to confront the essential questions of life and meaning.
Yeah, I imagine it's a difficult balance to find. Returning to a world that expects you to be the same while grappling with the profound changes you've experienced. And what about that heartbreaking line after Kelly tells him that she had to let him go?
When he simply says, "I know."
Right.
It speaks volumes about his understanding of their shared loss. It's not just about the years he was missing, but the time they both lost in different ways.
Their relationship was a casualty of time, just like so much else in Chuck's life. But there's also a sense that he doesn't succumb to despair. He doesn't stay stuck in the past. The film's ending really captures the sense of acceptance and moving forward.
Absolutely, that final scene at the crossroads, with his line, "Tomorrow the sun will rise. Who knows what the tide could bring?" It's such a powerful statement of embracing the unknown.
It gives me chills every time. It's like he's finally letting go of the need to control everything, to plan and schedule every moment. He's surrendered to the flow of time and the mystery of what each new day might bring.
And it's interesting how the script's vocabulary subtly reinforces this.
Okay.
Throughout the film, words like eternity, cosmos, mercy, they're woven into the dialogue almost like signposts along Chuck's journey.
Yeah.
They remind us that his experience is about grappling with the big questions, the mysteries of life and time that go beyond just surviving on an island.
It's like the script is inviting us, the audience, to contemplate these same questions along with Chuck, to think about our own relationship with time, loss, and the unpredictable nature of life.
And it does so in a way that's both thought-provoking and entertaining. You wouldn't necessarily expect a vocabulary guide to offer such profound insights, but it really enhances the film's impact.
It's true, this deep dive has definitely given me a new appreciation for Castaway. Speaking of subtle details, what about that final shot of the film?
Yeah.
The package with the words, "Return to sender, address unknown." It's a small moment, but so emotionally resonant.
It's a clever callback to Elvis Presley, of course, but it's also a brilliant metaphor for Chuck's journey.
Right.
He's been returned to a world that no longer feels familiar. He's searching for a new sense of belonging, a new direction. And just like that unopened package, his future remains a mystery.
Yeah, it's like he's standing at a crossroads, both literally and figuratively.
Right.
He's free, but he's also unmoored.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the choices we all face in life and how sometimes those choices are thrust upon us.
Absolutely. Castaway is more than just a survival story.
Right.
It's a meditation on loss, resilience, and the power of acceptance. It asks us to consider what truly matters when we strip away the trappings of our everyday lives.
And what struck me is how this relatively simple story told through the lens of a vocabulary guide can spark such profound reflection. It's a testament to the power of storytelling and how sometimes the most unexpected sources can lead to a deeper understanding.
It reminds us that learning can come from anywhere, that there's always more to discover if we're willing to look, and that's what makes these deep dives so fascinating.
Exactly. We take these sources, a script, a research paper, an article, and we really dig in. We find the connections, the insights, the aha moments that might otherwise be missed.
So as you go about your day, let's leave you with a thought.
Okay.
Imagine yourself in Chuck's shoes, standing at that crossroads. Where would you go? What would the tide bring you?
Let those questions linger. Let them inspire your own deep dive into the mysteries of lifetime and the choices we make along the way.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening.